I don't think I put on a bra in a month. A sports bra, yes, to work out. But a bra, I am, free boobing it. I'm sharing with you here today, and what we teach in the Plant Empowered Coaching Program, what that's all about is making permanent shifts to create the lifestyle that will bring you the happiness, the health, the freedom, the abundance that you're looking for in your life. Hey there, Empowered Vegan Lifers. Ella here with my co-host. Hi, Stephanie.
Hey, Ella, how are you?
That was a really high. Hi, Stephanie. That was like my little kid voice came out.
Did you? My hey, went up too. Just to you. Hey.
That's what we do as coaches a lot of the time, don't we?
That's what we do. We meet them where they are.
That's right. Well, before we dive into today's truly transformational training, that's alliteration. Is that the word?
That is the word. An excellent literary device. Yeah.
You should know you're homeschooling your kids right now.
I am an expert. I know all these things.
Thanks to COVID-19.
Yes. Oh.
Well, before we start this training, which is the foundation for how we coach you to coach yourself, let's do a quick check-in. What's going on in your mind today, Stephanie?
I had the most unusual experience the other day. I use a service called Instacart. It was kind of my gift to myself this year so that I could, cut down on a little bit of time to the grocery store and just have my groceries delivered. And so I put in a grocery order, and about I don't know, maybe an hour before it was supposed to be delivered, I get a text from the shopper, and she's having a hard time. She is in the middle of the store, and she just said, "I'm about to cry. They don't have any of the things that you want, and I'm very frustrated, and we don't make enough money." And she really was having a hard time. So I had to talk her down. I was like, "Leave the groceries. Let's talk this through." And I felt just horrible because, here she was shopping for my groceries, but the grocery store is kind of this weird experience with, only one way in and out of aisles. And
wait a minute.
Yes.
So you get a text from the person doing the shopping through this service, and she's having a mental breakdown basically in the middle of the store.
Yes.
And are you texting her back? Are you, how are you you took her on as a little mini client, didn't you?
Well, I did, because I just felt horrible. She was shopping for my groceries. So we started texting, and really her first question was, "Listen, I can't do this. Do you want me just to check out with what I have, or do you want me to?" But it became very obvious she was in distress. So yes. So initially we were texting, and then she got out of the store, and then I had her give me a call just to check in. And she was having a panic attack. It was all triggered by my grocery list. And so, yeah, of course I took her out as a little, just a brief client. All she needed was a little brief session, and then she was good to go. But yeah. So
only you is all I can say. Only you.
Oh my goodness.
And so you didn't get your groceries?
No, I didn't get any groceries, which was fine. It was fine, because she really was very stressed out. And I didn't realize that they didn't make very much money doing that unless they got tips. And yeah.
I can't imagine it being a lucrative job in any sense of the word.
No. And she was just doing it for a little bit of side money. But it really sounded like it was not good for her mental health at all. I know this COVID-19 has really brought to light some really, I think, just some things in ourselves, that we didn't necessarily know were there, or it comes, that are there that are coming out in weird ways. And for her, it was the panic of the moment. I can't get my job done. I can't do this, so that you're going to appreciate what I've done, or, even tip me so that I can make a little bit of extra money on this. But it was just more that panic. And it was definitely not about the groceries. You know what I mean?
Of course.
It's
never about what the surface.
It's never about what you think it's about. Yeah, absolutely. It comes out in funny ways. So what's on your mind?
What's on my mind is a little on the lighter side, I would say.
Oh, no.
I am really celebrating. I have all these celebrations. I don't think I put on a bra in a month. A sports bra, yes, to work out. But a bra, I am, free boobing it.
I absolutely think that might be one of the fantastic things that comes out of this is that maybe we can burn our bras again.
Ooh, I like that thought.
Right? Yeah. Female empowerment and freedom.
Yes. Well, I'm wearing my vegan shirt that says no animals were harmed in the making of this body. And I am wearing it without a bra.
And they look fabulous, let me tell you.
Ooh, are you talking about my boobs?
Your boobs look awesome.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I will take it. All right. So with that being said, all right, today's training, let's dive into it, you guys. Are you ready to learn the secret to true transformation? Because you know what? I know that word transformation is thrown around really lightly these days. Mm-hmm. And it's thrown around a lot, right? It's almost become lost a lot of its meaning. Yeah. But when I really think about the word and what I'm trying to portray by saying it, that is still the best word. So I'm going to still use it. I just want to give a little clarity around the meaning, because there are all these personal trainers. I think that's one of the fields that uses it a ton, saying, they're going to transform your body. Yeah. And the real word is change, what they're really talking about. Change is very different than transformation. So they do these, before and after pictures, and you see the change in the person's body, right after working with them and after this strict diet they've been on, and they look fantastic and they're so happy. But funny enough, we don't see a picture of them again in a month or 6 months or a year or a few years down the road. And why is that? Well, because I think the statistic is over 80%, if not much higher than that, of people who go on a diet and lose weight, gain it right back and then some.
Yeah.
That's not transformation. Mm. That's a change of losing weight, and then it's a change again of gaining it back. Mm-hmm. Transformation is so much more than that. It is what allows us to make permanent shifts in how we think, how we feel, how we act, and ultimately what our outcomes are for the rest of our lives. So whether your goal is weight loss or landing your dream job or, overcoming a disease, finding the love of your life, creating peace in your household, whatever it is, what I'm sharing with you here today and what we teach in the Plant and Power coaching program, what that's all about is making permanent shifts to create the lifestyle that will bring you the happiness, the health, the freedom, the abundance that you're looking for in your life.
Yeah.
Do you want to know what that secret is, you guys? Drum roll, please.
Yes. I don't know how to drum. Sorry.
That was close. All right, here it is. It's changing your subconscious programming. Maybe. We want a magic pill, right?
We do.
Well, as complex or, strange as that may seem, it is totally doable. And we can absolutely show you exactly how to do it. And this is not woo-woo stuff either, you guys. This is backed by science. And I promise you, the only way for you to build and maintain a healthy fit body and to achieve your dream lifestyle is to reprogram your mind. So how many of you guys out there can relate to this scenario or something similar? You find yourself exhausted or stressed out after a long, busy day. You get home and it's like you're on autopilot. You head straight on over to the kitchen, you open the cabinet, you grab a bag of chips or cookies. You know, Oreos are accidentally vegan, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. You collapse on the couch and you just start munching mindlessly. And maybe at some point you stop and think, what am I doing with my hand in this bag? It has nothing to do with being hungry, right? It's habit. Think of all the times throughout the day you do something without consciously thinking about it. Well, that's the subconscious programming, taking the wheel. You know what I'm talking about, right, you guys? Well, it's your subconscious programming taking the wheel. 90%, some people say 95% of our lives, we are running on autopilot. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So what if we could rewire our subconscious so that our autopilot mode has us doing healthy things instead of the unhealthy things that we're currently doing? And we're going to be showing you how to do that rewiring. But first, I want to dive deeper and teach you guys exactly what I mean when I talk about your subconscious programming. So I want you to imagine an iceberg, which represents your mind. And did you know that what you see on the surface above the water is only 10% of the iceberg? The other 90% is actually below the water. So think about the 10% above the water as your conscious mind and the 90% below the water as your subconscious mind. And understand this. If your subconscious is running the show 90% of the time, and your subconscious is responsible for all of your unhealthy habits that are keeping you from reaching your goals, doesn't it make sense that the only way for you to reach your goal of a fit vegan lifestyle and healthy, strong body is to change the subconscious mind? Every time you go on a diet, you start a crazy, unsustainable workout routine. You count calories, track macros, weigh and measure your food, etc., etc. You're focusing solely on the conscious mind. And you therefore set yourself up to fail, right? The subconscious mind will always prevail because it's running the show 90% of the time. You will keep fighting a battle that is simply impossible to win. Instead, what you've got to do is shift that energy that you've been dedicating to dieting. And we're using weight loss as an example here. The energy that you've been dedicating to dieting away from the food and exercise to focus on changing your subconscious mind. Because again, by changing your subconscious, you change your habits and you can create a lifestyle in which eating healthy and exercising effectively is what happens automatically. It means that 90% is working for your health and happiness, not against it. Do you guys get that? Because this is the concept that will finally get you the permanent results that you're looking for. And that, my friends, is something to celebrate. It's truly the answer that you've been looking for. Isn't that just, I mean, my mind still blows. I've been teaching this and living this for quite a while now, and it's still mind-blowing to me. Don't you think, Stephanie?
I think it is. And I think that it's really, you know, when you think about the fact that we operate from something that we don't even necessarily understand, that is definitely not in our awareness. And when you think about really giving away your power 90% of the time to something that you aren't aware of and you don't understand, it actually becomes a lot clearer and a lot more empowering.
That's such a good point.
Yeah, bringing back that 90%. You've got control of 10%, but there's this whole other area of your life that you can have control over. It's a big deal.
Yeah, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And that's
Exactly.
frustrating. When you don't know the thing that is going to help you understand what's going on so that you can actually make the changes you need to make.
Yeah.
But now you know.
Absolutely. But now you know.
And the how to do that. Now we've got to get into the how.
Yes.
And that is not a one episode topic. So we're going to be covering that throughout many, many episodes, throughout this whole show, really. That's what this show is really all about. But we are going to give you an introduction to the foundation of the how we teach our Plant Empowered Coaching Program members and how we are going to teach you. And we call it the Self-Empowerment Coaching System. And we've got a simplified version and we've got a complex version that we get into with our coaching members. We're going to start with the simplified version, of course. And really, it's a way of thinking. It's a way of operating. It's, we've got this operating system and it's running a certain way right now. What we're doing is changing that operating system so that it becomes second nature. It's your new way of moving through the world. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to tell you right now that it takes work. It takes practice, takes consistency. Honestly, it takes support, to get there. It's not easy to do. I mean, you think about, we call them Band-Aids, right? All these little things that we're doing that spark us to make changes, but they don't lead to transformation. Mm-hmm. And that's what a Band-Aid to me is. And just listening to information and understanding it is a first step, right? But applying it, using it, practicing it, and changing your operating system is the way to make it stick.
Yeah. And
I think about shame as an example, because we work with shame a lot. We've worked on that a lot within our own selves, Stephanie and I, as well as, of course, with all our coaching members. And we look at one of my favorite people in the world, Brené Brown, and her incredible teaching. And what she has to say is just, I almost get like emotional thinking about it, because her work on vulnerability and overcoming shame, and I'm getting the chills just talking about it, is so freaking powerful. However, how many of us listen to Brené, believe in what she's saying, understand it, know it, yet can't seem to overcome our own shame still? Right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think we don't have a framework for that. We understand that it's important work, and we understand that we need to operate in a different way, but we don't have a framework in which to do that with. And I think that's what the self-empowerment coaching system is all about. It gives us a frame in which to take control of our thought life and therefore our subconscious programming.
Boom, that says it right there. Now, let's move forward talking about how we can start applying this to our lives. And we've talked about how we have a framework for going about doing that with our members, and it's called the Self-Empowerment Coaching System. And we're going to be talking about that throughout many episodes. But today, I want to focus on the very first piece of this, the first component, which is looking at your circumstances. So when you think about a circumstance, this is something that you don't necessarily have control over at that moment, right? That's something that is unfortunately out of your control. What we do have control over, though, is what happens next, how we either react or respond. So I want to wrap this up. Let's wrap this up, Stephanie, by talking about responding versus reacting. Does that sound good?
Yeah. I think that's a really important distinction, because although the outcome might be the same, it really is about intention. Our reactions are very survival based. They are a defense mechanism that comes from our subconscious. And so we don't have a chance to direct that. Whereas a response is a very conscious thing that we do in order to direct the outcome.
Exactly. And the point is, when it comes down to it, the more reacting we do, the less empowered we are.
Yes, exactly.
And I want to repeat that again, because this is so, so important. Reacting is a survival response. That is coming straight from the subconscious. And most of us are used to just reacting, right? When somebody pisses you off, you go, oh, screw that, whatever it is, it just comes out of you, right? It's like this monster coming out.
Right. I think about so many times in my life where I've really gotten myself into trouble. And it was always out of that reaction. If I had just taken a deep breath and really thought about what I was going to do or what I was going to say in any given circumstance, I wouldn't have gotten myself in so much trouble.
Wow, yes. Well, what's funny is my boyfriend is a total extrovert and I'm a total introvert. And one of the big differences between the two of us is when we have a discussion, we'll call it even a heated discussion, right. He will just, fire out whatever comes to his mind first. Mm-hmm. And I really take everything that he says to heart. Whereas me, I kind of shy back. I turn inward. And it's really important to me. And it's my first reaction to actually think about it and really think things through, which pisses him off because he's like, why aren't you talking? But it's really important for me to be intentional with my words and to know that I mean everything I said.
Yes.
And so that, looking back on that, now that we're talking about this, that's a way to ensure that you respond when you take a step back and don't just fire out the first thing that comes to your mind, which is much harder to do for extroverts than it is for introverts, but that's a whole nother show.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. And I think that just illustrates the power of that pause. And that pause can be the difference between reacting from a gut level, which you have very little control over, and responding from a very conscious place, a very intentional place. And, the more we respond, the more empowered we become.
Exactly. So think about that response as something that is only possible when we take a step back. We call it the power of the pause, to be able to take a look, to observe the situation, and then allow the conscious mind, not the subconscious, the conscious mind will allow you to create intention and to make an intentional choice, taking into consideration the consequences that are likely to happen from whatever it is you choose to do next, right?
Yeah.
So it's a simple concept, but when it comes down to actually doing it, it can be really tough. So I think that's good work for us to leave you guys with, you empowered vegan lifers. Let's leave you with that, really taking the opportunity before our next episode to utilize the power of the pause and to respond rather than react and see what happens. What do you think, Stephanie?
Yeah, I think that's going to be so key. That is such a key point in being able to direct your life, is to get out of that reaction mode and get into responding.
Exactly. All right. I feel good about that. I don't know about you.
I do. I feel great about that.
Awesome. Well, we're gonna leave it there. That's a wrap, you guys. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss an episode, and head on over to our website where we will always have a gift waiting for you. We'll also have a place to leave us a message with your questions and apply to be coached on an upcoming show. And of course, if you're loving what you're hearing here, we would be extremely grateful if you'd leave us an authentic review and use the share feature to invite all the people you care about in this world to listen to. Until next time.
Until next time.